Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is one of the most unusual crossovers in recent memory, but it's also one of the most successful. Not only does Mario and Rabbids introduce the Italian plumber to turn-based strategy for the very first time, somehow, some way, it made the Rabbids relevant all over again. On paper, the concept was laughed at and ridiculed when it was first leaked, but in action, it's become one of the best and must-own games on Nintendo Switch. And with the brand new Donkey Kong Adventure DLC, it seems as if Ubisoft have some very exciting plans for its future. Now, I didn't say there's going to be anything more, that's not been confirmed yet, but this certainly points us to a future which might explore other recognizable Nintendo mascots, adding a little bit of Rabbids seasoning. Based on Donkey Kong Adventure, that would be just marvelous. See, this is a DLC that offers more of what made the original game great, but it adds some fun new gameplay additions to really spice up the formula, all present in very familiar, beautifully designed environments. The story follows the events of World 1 in Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, where players faced off against Rabbid Kong as he subsequently took a tumble and a series of embarrassing selfies with Rabbid Peach. Ashamed and dejected, Rabbid Kong is now chosen to visit the island of Donkey Kong to really take out his frustrations on everyone. And as fate would have it, see him once again encounter Rabbid Peach, who was wound up in another time-traveling washing machine that transports her to the Donkey Kong country. How on earth did she manage that, you wonder? Well, she kind of figured that it would be the smartest place to plug in her phone charger. As it turns out, it kind of sort of wasn't. Fortunately, she's saved by DK and Rabbid Cranky from a horde of angry onlookers. Donkey Kong isn't a fan of the Rabbids trespassing on his turf, and he's definitely not happy with the fact that they're distributing bad bananas all across his island. So the game quickly leaps from the narrative into the action, and it is all too familiar with game staples using cover to stay out of line of sight and climbing to mountaintops to gain a tactical height advantage. But the differences come, first of all, in the actions of the characters. For starters, Donkey Kong can swing between DK platforms to quickly get from one side of the battlefield to the other. This injects more pace into the action by ensuring less wasted movement, but it also makes it easier to use the full width of the map during battle. As for attack, Donkey Kong uses a banana as a boomerang, which can hit multiple enemies that are stood close together. Now, over time, this can be upgraded to a heavy red phone, which can also burn enemies. You can even upgrade it to a parrot, and yes, a hot dog. DK can also act like a tank-like character and draw enemies close to him by using his infamous bongos. Once they're right up in his face, he can then use a ground smash which hits any surrounding enemies multiple times before pushing them backwards and out into the battlefield. Oh, and DK can also pick up and throw pretty much anything on the map. Yep, that's including his teammates. This helps him throw teammates into better positions or directly into the face of enemies. However, he can also pick up enemies as well and lob them out of bounds, and he can pick up destructive blocks and boxes which can blow up in their face. Wonderful. Frankly, Donkey Kong is the best character in the game now, bar none, but he's almost so overpowered that once you get to grips with him, you'll find yourself sailing through each stage with relative ease. It sounds bananas, and it absolutely is, and with Rabbid, Peach and Cranky in the mix as well, things just kick into another gear. The angry old Rabbid can bore his enemies to sleep with a long regaling tail or blast them to smithereens with a reaching vampiric crossbow. Rabbid Cranky is also not afraid to shoot explosive barrels at his enemies, destroying things in range. Meanwhile, Peach keeps doing Peach things with her conventional shoot, heal and bubble motions, playing exactly as she did in the base game. And you're going to need to get very comfortable with these three because, well, there is no rotation with the rest of the characters in Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, possibly to the content weakness. You see, as great as these characters are, it is a bit disappointing that you can't mix things up even further with the new blood, and sadly the two new characters also aren't available in the base game, which does feel a little bit like a missed opportunity. Especially as some of those missions can get really tough, and it'd be great to have DK to butt some heads together. The thing is, the levels in Donkey Kong Adventure are designed in such a way that it does fundamentally change the way Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is played, and using the old maps would really restrict DK's movement, and that's such a big part of what makes him a great character. It's not the end of the world though, as there's lots of content to get through in Donkey Kong Adventure. You need to collect 20 different jigsaw pieces to open up a secret door, as well as find lots of hidden extras for unique puzzles, which then open up unlockables in the hub-like atoll, like 3D models and musical scores. And of course, the characters all have skill trees and different primary and secondary weapons to choose from, so you can customize their capabilities throughout the content, all serviced by collecting bananas which act as the currency for the DLC. Throughout each of the game's 4 main areas, there's a real feeling you're still playing Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, but in the natural theme for the tie-wearing chest beater. Just as Ubisoft France showed care and consideration when crafting the original game, Donkey Kong Adventure throws out plenty of nods and references to Retro Studios' recent games, and indeed the entire history of the franchise. Areas might seem familiar to those who recently played Tropical Freeze, but the use of bongos also elicits those Donkey Konga memories, and with Cranky ranting and raving, it just brings everything home with the original Donkey Kong Country games. Donkey Kong Adventure offers so much new content to sink your teeth into that you'll forget the amount of time that's passed. It's well worth the price of the game's season pass alone, and it is a DLC that proves that the success of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle was no fluke. Without doubt, this is one of the most polished, entertaining expansions of the year. So to summarize, on the pro side, Donkey Kong is the best character in the game now, bar none. There is lots of new content to explore, there's a really fun story and unique puzzle solving, and the aesthetic is really genuinely perfect. On the cons though, it is limited to the same 3 characters throughout, and you can't bring Kong and Cranky into the main game, and unfortunately DK does feel a bit overpowered, which makes things a little bit easy getting through the content at times. Having said all of that, we've chosen to award Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure DLC a solid 8.5 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, and as always, check out the little bell button at the bottom so you make sure you get notified whenever we upload a new video to the channel. We've got tons of news, reviews, trailers, unboxings, opinion pieces, all sorts on the channel, so it'd be great if you stick with us and make sure you're around whenever we release a new video. Hopefully we'll see you next time.